Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Thursday, November 7th, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. Kamala concedes what the Democratic nominee told supporters as she accepted defeat. And fresh off his resounding election victory, Donald Trump gets a call from the current president, Joe Biden. Also, what's next for Trump and when his new administration might begin taking shape.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
This morning, Donald Trump is once again president-elect, with more outlets calling the election on Wednesday. The former and future president not only winning the Electoral College, but the popular vote as well. In the latest results from Decision Desk HQ, as of this recording, Donald Trump standing at 312 electoral votes, surpassing the 270 needed to win. His opponent, Vice President Kamala Harris, earning 226. Trump leading in the popular vote at close to 73 million, with Harris getting just over 68 million. We heard from Donald Trump celebrating his victory in the wee hours of Wednesday morning. Kamala Harris chose not to speak at that time. Instead, the vice president waiting until the afternoon to address a crowd of supporters at Howard University, where she conceded the election.
The outcome of this election is not what we wanted, not what we fought for, not what we voted for, but hear me when I say, the light of America's promise will always burn bright. As long as we never give up and as long as we keep fighting.
Harris saying she spoke with Trump on the phone to congratulate him, telling her supporters it is important to accept the election results and engage in a peaceful transfer of power, calling it, quote, a fundamental principle of American democracy.
At the same time, in our nation, we owe loyalty not to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. And loyalty to our conscience and to our God. My allegiance to all three is why I am here to say, while I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Kamala Harris also told the crowd that these might, quote, feel like dark times are ahead, but she hopes that's not the case, and added that sometimes the fight takes a while. Harris, as the sitting vice president, will be the one overseeing Congress's ceremonial certification of the election in January. Meantime, there is speculation this morning that Donald Trump could soon begin announcing appointments to key positions in his cabinet in just a matter of days. Some prospective nominees reportedly canceled their flights out of South Florida yesterday after election night celebrations in order to remain close to Trump. Along with Vice President Harris congratulating President-elect Trump on his victory, President Joe Biden also reached out to Donald Trump over the phone on Wednesday, inviting Trump to a meeting at the White House and offering his congratulations. President Biden expressed his commitment to ensuring a smooth transition and emphasized the importance of working to bring the country together. A Trump campaign spokesperson confirming the call and that Biden invited the president-elect to the White House to, quote, ensure a smooth transition between the current administration and the incoming administration. The Trump campaign saying the White House meeting would take place shortly and that Donald Trump very much appreciated the call from Joe Biden. Biden also speaking to Vice President Harris on the phone on Wednesday and releasing a statement on social media following her concession speech saying, quote, under extraordinary circumstances, she stepped up and led a historic campaign that embodied what's possible when guided by a strong moral compass and a clear vision for a nation. President Biden adding that selecting Kamala Harris as his vice president was, quote, the best decision he made. The president is expected to address the nation later today on the election and the transition of power. Now that former President Trump is once again President-elect Trump, Special Counsel Jack Smith is in talks with the Department of Justice leadership to figure out how to end the criminal cases against Trump. That's what sources familiar with the matter have told several media outlets. The DOJ has had a long-standing policy against prosecuting a sitting president. And Justice Department regulations say a special counsel must consult DOJ leaders, possibly even Attorney General Merrick Garland, on major decisions in an investigation. Last year, Smith charged Trump with plotting to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election and illegally keeping classified documents at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Those charges were dismissed by a judge earlier this year, but Smith has appealed that ruling. Trump has pleaded not guilty in both cases. The Biden administration plans to rush billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine before President Biden leaves office in January, according to multiple reports. The goal is to make sure Ukraine's government is in a good place when President-elect Trump takes office. Trump has been critical of the scale of the U.S. military and financial support for Ukraine in its war with Vladimir Putin and Russia. In April, the Republican-controlled House approved more aid for Ukraine, including an allocation for weapons. However, more than $6 billion worth of aid that has been set aside for Ukraine has not made it there yet. Donald Trump has vowed to end the war between Russia and Ukraine quickly, but has not specified how. Hurricane Rafael has weakened after making landfall in Cuba as a powerful Category 3 storm, causing the island's electrical grid to collapse. 10 million residents are in the dark again after Hurricane Oscar caused electrical grid collapses last month. While the storm is expected to stay in the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico, heavy rain will be seen in Florida and neighboring parts of the southeast. 1 to 3 inches of rain are expected for parts of the Florida Keys. Rafael is the 5th major hurricane of the year in the Atlantic and the strongest to hit this late in the year since 2020. Finally this morning, the election results are in, and now so are the ratings. Fox News once again leading the pack, getting the most viewers on election night with 9.8 million viewers tuning into the primetime hours between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern. Down, though, from the nearly 14 million viewers in 2020. On the network side, it was ABC News #1 in primetime with 5.6 million viewers. Overall, Nielsen says across 18 cable and broadcast networks, 42.3 million people tuned into the coverage, down over 25% from 2020, when election coverage drew nearly 57 million viewers. Those are your unbiased updates for this Thursday. I just realized we are just 3 weeks from Thanksgiving. We'll see you back here tomorrow. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great day.